It's been almost a year since I backed Rocketbook's Kickstarter campaign in February of 2020, but about a week before Christmas, my Rocketbook Orbit finally arrived, and I've been testing it ever since. The Orbit is Rocketbook's reusable alternative to legal pads, or rather, a legal pad clipboard of sorts. It's similar to all of the company's synthetic notebooks, in that you take notes using Pilot's water-soluble friction pens, check off one or more of the 7 destination icons at the bottom of the page, then scan the note using the Rocketbook app in order to send a digital backup of your notes to whichever cloud location you've assigned for that icon. Then, when you're all done, you can erase the note using a damp cloth and start all over. This is possible because the new page packs are made of the same polyester composite material as Rocketbook's notebooks, so you should expect the same gel-like texture when writing with the friction pens. They also retain the same thin black border that helps expedite the scanning process by clearly defining the page boundaries. There are 2 changes though, the first being the addition of a faint page header that includes a title and date block. This is a nice touch because it doesn't take up too much page space, but it allows the Rocketbook app to automatically title your digital upload without having to nest the title between double hashtags as you would do with the company's synthetic notebooks. But the biggest change is the new binding, which uses 2 cylindrical stainless steel clips to hold the pages together and attach the page pack to the Orbit clipboard via a magnetic dock. This allows you to easily turn the page, flip the page pack over, or swap to a different page pack altogether. So far, this new hinge design has worked quite well and is a welcome replacement to the typical plastic coil binding found on Rocketbook's notebooks. I look forward to seeing how the company may adapt this into a new notebook form factor in the future. Having said that, I'll have to see over time how well these slots at the top of the pages hold up to repeated flipping. The only other thing that I could see potentially being an issue for some users is that these bindings no longer allow you to easily swap the order of pages within or between page packs. This is something I've done in the past with my coil-bound Rocketbooks, but I'm a little worried about deforming these rings if I were to try opening them. For my Orbit, I have the page pack with a faint line pattern on one side and a dotted pattern on the other, though there will be several alternative patterns available in the coming weeks when the Orbit is officially released. Each pack has 20 double-sided pages, which is notably more than a standard Rocketbook notebook. If you're interested in seeing all of the different options, I plan on making a more detailed video about those, so make sure to subscribe and see it. Taking a look at the Orbit clipboard, I'm really happy with the overall construction. It's composed of PVC, polyurethane, and magnets, and feels quite well built. It also has a diamond-shaped surface texture, which increases the friction between the Orbit and your desk to prevent it from slipping around while writing. The Orbit comes in a variety of colors, as well as the 2 standard letter and executive sizes common to Rocketbook's products, mine being the teal letter size. The Orbit also features a built-in pen dock, which is now located along the top of the clipboard as opposed to the bottom where it was in the original prototypes, a smart change to avoid palm interference when writing at the bottom of the pages. This does a good job of securing the standard clicker and capped friction pens, as well as my Friction LX, though I did notice that it's a little loose if I use the smaller Friction point pens, and of course it won't work with the 0.38mm friction pens which don't have a clip. As a clipboard, the Orbit works well for writing in your lap or on the go, though the next generation could be slightly stiffer in order to improve its rigidity and avoid it potentially bending over time. The bar housing the magnets at the top of the Orbit is slightly raised with 2 cutouts that secure the page pack binding. This works very well and has an extremely satisfying little click when the page pack falls into place. And because there is a thicker border at the top of the page packs, this slight elevation doesn't interfere with writing in the title bar. As a handy little bonus, the Orbit's magnets are also strong enough to secure the clipboard to a refrigerator, which makes it ideal for things like grocery lists. It's worth noting that the edges of the Orbit are thin and soft. If I were to pick one component that may wear out over time, this would be it, but so far I haven't had any problems. The only real practical issue I see with the Rocketbook Orbit is its lack of a built-in cover for when you're in transit. I really love how low profile the Orbit is on its own, but I'm hesitant to slide it into a backpack for fear of crinkling the pages. It comes with a pouch that you could use in a pinch, but I wouldn't want to rely on that for daily use. Having said that, I also bought the capsule folio that goes along with the Orbit, so you're not completely out of luck if you want to take it on the go. Like Rocketbook's other second-generation folios, the Orbit capsule is constructed with recycled PET fabric and what feels like craft paper on the inside for rigidity. This gives it a solid and professional feel. However, this folio is absolutely huge at 11 inches wide, 13.5 inches tall, and a little over an inch thick when there's nothing inside of it, making it considerably larger than Rocketbook's other, already large, capsules. So if you're gonna pick up the Rocketbook Orbit, you should keep in mind that this is more of a container for all of your Rocketbook supplies, rather than a compact folio. Aside from this, the Orbit capsule is quite nice. I like the two-tone geometric style, as well as the addition of this front pouch which can hold an extra page pack or alternatively a Rocketbook notebook. Opening it up, there's a central slot for the Orbit, as well as a PET pen loop on the right and an elastic loop for a small spray bottle on the left, which is a nice addition. Moving further left, there are 3 card slots, the middle one being large enough to hold about 8 of Rocketbook's new Index Cloud cards, as well as a mesh pouch that extends about halfway down the page, perfect for storing a small towel. The only other noteworthy feature of the Orbit capsule is the inclusion of these 2 horizontal bars, which keeps the top of the folio from rubbing against the page pack rings when closed. It's these, as well as the Orbit's top pen slot, that make this capsule so large. I understand and even like how the Orbit clipboard slots into the folio, but I'm a little surprised that Rocketbook didn't opt to just build a magnetic dock into the capsule to reduce the bulk. You could also have a second dock on the back side of the capsule that would allow it to be used as a clipboard when closed. All things considered though, I really do like the new form factor of the Orbit and the improvements that Rocketbook has made to the capsule. I suspect we're going to see a lot of creative ways to use these new page packs in the coming year, so I'm quite comfortable recommending the Orbit to anyone who likes the clipboard style writing experience and wants to get into the Rocketbook reusable ecosystem. As always, I'll leave links to these products in the description below as they become available. At the time of making this video, these products aren't for sale yet, but I would expect the Orbit and Capsule to come in close to $30 each, with additional page packs maybe costing around $20, but that's just a guess. Keep in mind you can save a little more using my personal promo code that I'll leave below. Otherwise, if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.